I don't care what you think of me. Your opinion of me does not matter at all. Well, you got to know your heart pretty good to be able to say that.
Be careful what you speak. Ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends, ex-wives, ex-friends. They are speaking negatively about you, but don't join in. Protect yourself. Cover your tracks. But be careful what you speak, because you are empowering negative behavior.
I believe that some of the worst pain that we experience in life comes from people falsely accusing us and judging us. When they don't know us, or they don't know anything about us, and they don't bother to find out, they just take a look and have an opinion. How many of you have ever been hurt deeply by someone who judged you and criticized you, and you just thought, you don't even know what you're talking about? Well, one of the best ways to keep those kind of things from happening to us is not to dish it out to other people.
Who are you to judge? God has a job to do. Let him judge. Who are you to judge? You are being judged for judging. We all have to speak upon negative things and negative people, but try your best to pray for your enemies. Try your best to speak positivity and hope and saying, you know what, I don't like what you're saying and I don't like what you're doing, but I'm going to continue to pray for you. I'm going to continue to hope and speak blessings and opportunities in your life, because maybe you're bored. That's why you continue to just sit around and do and speak negative things. They say there's power in the tongue. So if you have power in the tongue, if you continue to speak negative things about people that are doing negative things to you, you are empowering their negative behavior. You'll notice that that negative behavior won't go away. If you speak it, someone will be it.
You may have to function for a while without the absence of the thing you adore. But it's not over. It's just that God has created the treasures of darkness. And in order to create the treasures of darkness, he has to take away light so that he can incubate what he's about to do in your life.
And I'm going to tell you right now, it won't be easy. It will be hard, because life is hard. That's what life is. And these challenges, they're going to do their best to take you down. Do not let them. Stand up, dig in.
In the end, we are only as strong as the adversity that we overcome. The pain of the adversity will eventually subside, but the lesson will always remain. And that lesson will strengthen you to endure your next battle, this time stronger and wiser than before.
Line up those problems and confront them. Face them. Do not let them bring you down. In fact, let those challenges raise you up. Let them elevate you. Let their demands and their trials make you stronger. Let the adversity you face today turn you into a better person tomorrow.
The way you handle your good years will determine if you survive the bad years. In other words, you must learn to maximize the positive. If you don't learn how to maximize the good times and minimize the bad times, then you won't make it through the family.
But when you continue to speak negative things about people that have done negative things to you, you are also continuing the cycle of negativity. You are speaking negative things into their life. Therefore, you are inspiring the negativity to continue. If you speak positive things into people that have done wrong by you, especially if they're continuing to do negative things to you and on your behalf, you are therefore trying to speak a positive transition from them being a negative and horrible person. You are trying your best to speak positivity into their life so that they can now start becoming a better person and a more positive person. It goes back to the saying, pray for your enemies.
Most people in a fearful situation, they forget everything and run, but there are few that in a fearful situation, they face everything and rise with courage. And that's who you are. And when you're going outside of your comfort zone, it takes courage. Most people, the majority of people, die within their comfort zone. They're not risk takers. They go through life trying to play it safe. There's no safe position in life. There's no safe position in life. You can't get out of life alive. You got to die to leave here. And so this is a time.
Instead of finding fault in others, we should all work to be the best people we can be and identify our own strengths and weaknesses. In other words, before we judge someone from our own viewpoint, we should take the time to take a very close look at ourselves, because none of us are perfect.
If you make it to the end of this video, just write on my timeline. From this point on, I will be careful of what I speak. Then I'll know you made it to the end of this video. And I want you to share this video. Why would you watch this video, be inspired by this video, and decide to keep it to yourself? From this point on, I will be careful of the negative things I speak. I love you.
We never have enough information to judge anyone. I want you to remember that. We know what we know, and there's a lot more that we don't know than that we know, usually about every individual. It's interesting to me that nobody ever judges me or nobody ever judges you if they have what you have. People only judge us when they don't have what we have, and so therefore it's not even really what the word true judgment is all about. It's just jealousy. And they're not even mad because you have it, they're mad because they don't have it.
Be very careful who you judge at their low moment. You might be judging somebody right now for the battle that you're about to fight next month. Be very careful how you judge people. Be very careful how you say, oh, well, I just don't understand people who are depressed. After all, there's so much to be grateful about, and rejoice in the Lord always. And yeah, it's cool that you've got a Pinterest kind of faith right now, but something might happen in your life that knocks you off balance to the point that your stable self becomes a little bit wobbly for a little while. And you're going to want to make sure that you haven't judged people for things that you don't currently struggle with, because it might happen in your house. Amen.
So, who are we to judge? We shouldn't judge people. We should help them. Man, there's probably nothing more we can do to live a worthwhile life than to help people. To help other people. And in helping other people, I promise you will be rewarded, and you will be helping yourself too. We see men tested beyond anything we can imagine. And still they overcome the pain and the suffering and the fear. And yet we can't get ourselves out of bed in the morning. We can't move toward a goal we've set for ourselves. Don't allow that. You remember what you are capable of if you mobilize your will. And if you keep moving forward, you keep advancing. Remember what you are capable of if you keep attacking. And don't stop. And don't stop attacking. And don't succumb to the suffering and the pain and the fear. Don't succumb, but instead move forward and attack.
Victory begins in the dark. And we all go through these times where we don't think it's going to work out. Seasons where nothing is changing. We're being our best, but the business is not growing. The fact is, light is on the way. What God promised you is en route. You've been believing for things to change in your marriage, your finances, with an addiction. It seems permanent. you've already entered a new day. You've already passed midnight. You can't see it yet, but victory is on the way.
Life and business is like the changing seasons. You cannot change the seasons. That's impossible. You can't rearrange the seasons. The seasons are going to come however they're going to come, and you cannot change that. So you cannot change the seasons. But make this note, you can change yourself. That was the message I got when I was 25 years old with someone who took the time to teach me. You can change yourself.
Now, instead of complaining about the dark, have a new perspective. The dark means the sun is on the way up. The promise is about to come forth. Who can stop the sun from rising each morning? Who can keep light from breaking forth over the horizon? All the forces of darkness cannot stop what God has ordained for you. They cannot keep what He promised from coming to pass. In the face of that darkness, when you don't see any light, get in agreement with God.
See, anybody can feel good when they have their health, their bills are paid. Anybody could be positive then. Anybody can have a larger vision then. Anybody can have faith under those kinds of circumstances. The real challenge of growth, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, comes when you get knocked down. Somebody said that adversity introduces a man to himself or a woman.
Adversity is a gift. Embrace it. Trying to avoid adversity would be like trying to avoid the tide while swimming in the ocean. But like the ocean, if you can learn to embrace the tide of adversity, you will eventually learn to let it lift you up, and you can ride the wave to shore unscathed. And in that moment, take a look around, because the view that you have after you've overcome your adversity is absolutely breathtaking.
You have to be awfully immature to think that every day is going to be a good day. Some days are better than other days. And some days, if it ain't one thing, it's another.
One of the things that we know about life is that it is always changing. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes things go real well, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes you're happy, and sometimes you're sad. Now that's that thing called life.